Hi friends, welcome to Aishu's DIY. Today we will design a 2-strand necklace using bargain bead box subscription for the month of August 2023. So I still have these bicones, 4mm bicones left, and some of these green coin beads left, and some of these orangish red pear teardrops left. Okay, so I'm going to make advantage of that. And then make some dangles and make some double strand necklace. So I have these are like 4mm, like iridescent pearl kind of a bead that in my stash, so I pulled out that just to give this a little bit of a pop. So I followed this pattern and strung the beads. I used some transparent gold lined uh, 11 seed beads in between these things. The pattern I followed is a 4mm pearl, 11, a bicone, 11, a bicone, 11, and then 4mm pearl. So this is a section that I'm following, like this is a pattern I'm following throughout the thing. So it's a 2-strand, as I said. So in order to just, because we have only 1 strand of the bicone left, so I needed extra beads to cover for my project. So that's why I added this 4mm pearl. You don't have to, you will have some beads left over from your stash from the previous boxes that you can use, or you can just add more seed beads. In that case you don't have to use the rounds, but I really like the contrast between the bicone and the rounds. The geometric factor really puts a nice spin on this necklace, is what I feel. So I added this, and let me measure this for you guys. This is about, say, 7.5 inch, right? So I'm just going to stop at this for the inner strand, and I'm going to use the chain. We got chain, that is soldered chain, right? So I still have some chain left. I'm going to use that, and then here is a chain that we are going to use. And then for the second strand, the same thing but with a little bit of difference. I'm going to use some ball head pins. These are 2 ball head pins to make some dangles. So you can also make a basic dangle, but these head pins are thinner head pins, so I don't think so we can use we can make a basic. And also I don't feel very comfortable making a basic loop because I'm going to dangle it between the beads, and the bead stringing wire that I'm using here is a 7-strand nylon coated bead stringing wire, and I fear that it might come off. So it's always a best practice to use this. So you can either use the beads like this, and then on top of that you can use this. So you just need to figure out which one do you like the most. So both are in the shape like this. So either you like the dangle like this, or you like it like the leaves on top. It's totally up to you. I feel that this is much more nicer, so I'm going to use this, or else we can just use this as the plain one, and then you can use this green dangles as well. I like that red one, very pretty they are, but you can always use the green dangle also, like that, if that makes sense. Or you can use just this one with the leaf and this one without the leaf. Just goes through and through. So that's also an issue. So in that case, what we can do is we can add a bicone probably, but I don't like it, so I'm just not going to use the green beads at all for this project, I guess. So I feel that this one is much more prettier, so I'm going to use that. All you need to do is add this to your head pen, And then take your round nose pliers, keep it on top. Okay, and then just bend the wire, reposition your pliers, and you go around the mandrel since you have this question mark kind of a form, and then you hold this, adjust it how much ever you want to, and then wrap it around as if you're wrapping your neck with a scarf, right? So just like that until you reach the bead and it feels tight. So once you achieve that, you can take your wire cutters, sorry about that bang sound, and then snip off that excess wire. Always have a small trash can next to you to just take out the pieces of the small wires that you have around. Otherwise, if it falls down on the ground, it might poke you or your little ones or your pets, something like that. So just give this a straight loop. So this is what we are going to have. So I'm going to make dangles like this, more dangles, so that we can have, so I have only 6 of these leaf beads, so I'm going to use all 6 of them for the dangles. There we go, snip off the excess. Make sure you tuck the tail in. You will have a short tail because you just cut it off, right? So that's 2 dangles, and this is the third one. Fold it over. You just come a little bit up so that it's now straight, and then you go around. Take your time while wrapping. Doesn't matter you're an expert or you're just beginning. The more you wrap, the better you get at it, is one thing. And also, if you take your time and don't rush things, the end product will be much more prettier than if you rush it. So, and also straighten that loop out. These small things actually makes a big effect. It might seem simple. Trust me, I used to think, oh, it's not a big deal, but it matters. So that gives your product a finished professional look. So there you go. Wrap, wrap, wrap until you reach. Snip it off. Tuck that tail in. Straighten that loop. I like ball head pins a lot. There is regular head pins too, but the ball head pin seems to be much more dressed, I feel. And the nice circle of gold right there in the bottom that we see, that's a really nice look to your pieces. go up. If you want, reposition your pliers as much as you want. You want the wrap to be nice and consistent, so that looks prettier. Last one to go. I still have 2 more of these beads left, which I'm going to save for some earrings. You can just make this as a earring and then wear it. It will be very pretty. The color is such a strong color and the shape is very appealing. Even if you just put a ear wire on top of this, it will look pretty. Teardrop shape is always good for quick earrings that you want to make, you want to gift, last minute. You can make this work, and people will always like this. Tuck the tail in. There we go. So now that we have this, so you can either cut this wire, leaving about say an inch and a half for you to put the crumb beads on, or what I like to do is I don't like to cut it now. I am gonna cut it later, so I'm just gonna work it in a spool. So I'm just going to keep on stringing until I have all the dangles. So you need to figure out a different pattern here. This is going to be the inner strand, and this we have like the 11 O's as a spacer beads. Every single bead we have 11 O, but in the next one, if you do have it, you won't be able to add this, right? So what I mean by is, if I have say so after this, if I add the dangle, okay, see this, there needs to be 2 seed beads, or there should not be any seed bead. So what I would say is, I think there should not be any seed bead is what, because we will still see the small gold line in between. So I'm hoping that the pattern can be, let's see, we'll do a couple more rounds without the dangles, and this is where it's going to start. So I'm just going to move this ahead. One more section of this bicones, and pearl should be good enough is what I'm thinking, because we have 6 dangles to fit inside. Add that, and then so in between the bicones, instead of putting 11 O, I'm gonna put a dangle. You can figure out whichever pattern you like. You can do it between the pearl, or you can put two seed beads, but I like this. The look of it is really nice. The next angle comes. These bicones are double-sided. That means like one side you have the lighter color, the other side you have that metallic little bit shine to it. One side it's matte, little bit shiny, and darker color on the other side. So make sure you have the right, otherwise you will have to restring it. Sometimes I just think that I overthink designs. Sometimes the simplest design that you think that, oh, it's so simple, we should not do it, kind of works out pretty well. I hope you guys must be having some moments like that too. If you do, please do share. Like some designs that we think that it's so simple, we should not do it. We should do something a little bit more complicated. And but the simple design sometimes blows you off, right? The last angle goes in, followed by the bicone. How pretty that is. You can actually make this as a long necklace. I'm making it in a double strand. Doesn't matter that you will have to. I'll finish loading up the beads here, and I'll come back and show you guys how I cut this and then make two strands with the chain. So I finished stringing the beads. Now I'm going to separate it. Just need that much space, so I'm just going to cut a little bit more just in case if I have to add beads. Otherwise 1.5 inches is good enough. So now if I keep this inside this, okay, so anyways I need this much to crimp, so I hold it like that, and this side I will cut it in a similar fashion. So first we will work the inner strand, and then we'll come back to the outer strand. So we take the chain. So this was about, say, 7.5 inches, right? This one will be 8.5, probably 9 inches. So in order to have a 2-strand necklace for an 18-inch or so, you need 9 more. So 4.5 inches more, 4 inches more, because we will have the clasp as well. So 4 inches, 2 pieces. Just measure it and cut. There we go. So 2 pieces of 4-inch, and then what I'm gonna do here is, this is a soldered one, so it's a good. I'm gonna take a couple of crumb tubes. You don't need that much, but I'm just popping it down. So here comes a different thing that you can dress up your necklace. So these are called bead tips or culottes. I know it's a different name, but hold on one sec. Let me grab the scissors, which is right here. So what you can do is you can just snip off a little bit. Don't need that much. So you just, this has 2 loops on the top and then one middle, there is a hole. So you just pop that in, okay, and then take 2 crimp tubes, okay, just bring it all the way to the tip and just crimp it. Okay, do one more just to make sure it's secure, and then all you need to do is bring this up here, okay, and then close the bead tip just like that. So you need a bigger pliers and just close it. See how nicely the finish is. So you just move all the beads down here. So I don't need this much crimp space to crimp, but I forgot about the bead tips. So this is what it is. What I'm gonna do is again take another bead tip, put it inside, and take 2 crimps and drop that down. Okay, see, always keep it in a U format, otherwise it will become way too. So you just move one first, so one of the crimp down, hold the other one in the finger, and then go ahead and try to squeeze it. Once you squeeze that, drop the next one down and then squeeze the next crimp too. So now you can snip off this excess wire after the crimp tube, and then take your pliers and just close this bead tip. Make sure it's all inside. There we go. So that's done. So the inner piece is done. Now the outer piece. You need to connect the chain. We'll do that later with jump rings. Now the outer strand needs to be kept like this. Okay, just actually the size looks perfect. Maybe you don't need let's see. So if we add the bead tips here, yeah, it's perfect actually. So go ahead and take 2 crimps, the same thing, take it to the tip and crimp that shut, take another crimp that shut as well, move the bead tip all the way just like that, and just okay. So now push all the beads here. Put a bead tip. Grab one crimp. Put it down all the way and make sure you keep this in a U format, and then go ahead and crimp that shut. Add one more crimp. Then go ahead and crimp that as well. Oops. There's a little. See, there is a little gap in this, so if it goes up, then you will see a gap. So I'm just going to cut those crimp off. So all you need to do is okay. Actually, it worked in my favor. I was able to re-crimp it. Now it's fine. Go ahead and close the, actually cut the wire up. And close the bead tip. So there we go. We have our 2 strands ready. So now we need some jump rings. You should always prepare the jump ring. As you guys can see, it's like as if 2 wires on top of each other. So we need to make it like this. So all you need to do is take your pliers, take your bent nose pliers, hold it like that, twist it open, twist, 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 twist. Keep twisting on one direction so that it just moves out. See? Now they are meeting each other perfectly. Now open it up, twist it up, open. Then take both the bead tips and insert it through the jump ring, and then one piece of the chain as well. These are 5mm jump rings, I believe, and then make sure you add it properly. It's completely closed. Okay, so that's done. So the other side, I would like to do one more jump ring if possible, just to be on the safer side. Or there is another thing that we can do. with some wire, of course. I have here 18 gauge. I think this one is 20 gauge. 20 gauge wire that I bought from Michael's. Take a piece, you can just discard this much. Take your round nose pliers, or you can take any other pliers you want. Actually, the nail making pliers will work good. We'll do the smallest setting. Take it, it's flush cut now, so go ahead and put it, make a basic loop. Okay, then take it and then use it here and make another loop, just like that. You will get this figure 8 form, and then you can just, I'm working with a spool always, so snip it off right at the middle. Okay, take your pliers and just flatten that up. So make one more. You can actually stamp it if you want to as well. This one is not that good. Just need to snip off a little bit. Just make sure that so now you can take this, open it up, add these two, and close it. Excuse me. Open up the top loop, add the next piece of chain. So this will give a little bit of a length and looks pretty as well. So as this, so you can choose. I just wanted to use that, otherwise I would like to use 2 jump rings, but the hole in this culottes or bead tips are not that big, so it might be a little difficult to add the jump rings. So open the loop up, close it, like how you open and close a jump ring the exact way. So now you open up the top part and add the chain, close it, and then to the end you can add a jump ring, and you can use any clasp you want. We have a toggle clasp from the box that I didn't use it yet, but still I prefer to use the lobster claw, so I'm just using a lobster claw clasp from my stash. Add that to there, and then you can add another jump ring. This one is a little bit bigger jump ring that I have in my stash. you can add that to the other end. So now our necklace is ready. A pretty necklace, as you guys can see. So we added 2 strands, and then we made the dangles with some of these leaves and the beads, and then we followed a pattern of a pearl, seed bead, 2 bicones, and this dangle, and then seed bead and the round. We followed the same pattern inside, except that we added a small main 11 seed beads in spite of this pendant. So I followed the same pattern here. We added the bead tips or colloids at the end, and then we added the S hook to connect the chain to the colloids, and then we cut the chain for 4.5 inches and added a lobster claw clasp and a bigger jump ring on the end. So this is how our necklace looks like. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.